Boston. Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Pushing 5 to play in the third. Kobe. Crawford. Hogan. Oh. Bring it on, Kobe, baby.
You are now tuned into the chat room. Your favorite baller's favorite podcast.
You're about to tune into episode 8 of the Chatroom podcast, featuring myself, Coach Francis, and Dewayne. Don't forget to check out the YouTube exclusive coming up very shortly, featuring a dope interview with a very dope artist by the name of Keisha Fresh. You don't know who she is? Go look her up. I guarantee you'll be impressed by all the music. But for right now, you're about to tune into the Chatroom podcast, episode 8. All right, so at this point right now, it's just the regular people on here now. We got Dewayne, Coach Francis, myself, the Senator, and we are going to discuss the bubble. That's what we should call it. Like, this has been a different restart. I think it's gone off pretty successfully, if you ask me. Only thing I could say was like a real problem at some times is like it looks like the players were glitching because of like the animation that they had to put on the court. So like,
they had a lot of bugs they were still trying to figure
out. But what do you guys consider some of the biggest surprises of how the bubble went off?
I mean, like there's all the different stories. I mean, like the biggest one that everyone's talking about, well, everyone should be talking about, is the Suns. I think what they've done, I think has been remarkable. Like they were catching so much flack for even being invited. They were the 13th team. They were in 13th place. They had like a 0.5% chance of making it. They basically had to go 8-0, you know, to even put their name in it to get a chance. And like their story has been really, really kind of intriguing. The whole stuff with Zion, basically like why is he not playing after sitting down for 5 months? Like that whole thing is kind of like intriguing, and then them firing
Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, like that. And then you look at like the whole Damian Lillard in the last 4 games, averaging like the last 3 games averaging 51 points a game. The last 3 games. That's caught fire. The Lakers struggles, you know, because like there are certain teams that will always be in the media. That's like the New York Yankees, like Lakers, the New York Knicks. Like those big teams will always be there. So for the Lakers to struggle so much, Cowboys, yeah. For the Lakers to struggle so much, well. Yeah, for them to struggle, it's been like in the news, but like no one's been talking about like them shooting the ball good the last 2 games, kind of catching their stride. But that's another story. The Raptors, them being able to like them making their highest percentage season.
I believe it like 75%.
Yeah, like
72.
So like that's been something that's been really impressive for me. What else has been pretty good? Like the whole Philadelphia with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid getting hurt, and then like everyone talking, like saying like, okay, well, it's time to like reboot the process, and like one of those guys got to go. Like seeing Giannis kind of like to see like what is he made of, you know? Because everyone's kind of giving him the crown already, saying he's gonna come out the East. Yada yada yada, and to see like, is he really made of that stuff? Can he bring his team to the next level?
But didn't they do that last year too? Like
yes and no. I mean, last year, like it was between him and Kawhi. You know, like everyone was saying, okay, like those are the clear top 2 guys in the East. Giannis should have next, but we don't know what he's made of right now. And right now, it's like, no, the East is Giannis. Like he controls the East. So now, if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, it's like, okay, well, you have underperformed as a superstar. You know, like last year was kind of like him and even Joel Embiid a bit. Like it was between those 3 guys, like who runs the East, you know? Mm-hmm. And this year, even though I think Raptors are a better team, the best player in the East is clearly Giannis.
Yeah.
So now it's not like, oh, Does he have enough? Now it's like, no, either you get to the finals or you have underperformed, in my opinion, right? So like that's gonna be the new story. And then also like he's a free agent coming up, right? So like all that stuff is kind of riding on like this is like this is finals or bust for him, you know.
Yeah,
and
Milwaukee's got to be worried. They got to be worried.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So like this has been like coming into this bubble. This is like the best case scenario for the NBA. Have so many compelling stories. Have pretty like you pretty much have like 3 or 4 really really interesting first round series. You know, like the NBA couldn't have put it any perfect. You got like Westbrook is hurt, but if Westbrook is there, you got Houston versus OKC. That's a huge storyline, right? And then you got T.J. Warren and Jimmy Butler. That's a big storyline as well, right? And then you got the whole Dame catching fire, and you got him going up against the Lakers. You got all these sports analysts saying that Portland is going to beat Lakers, which is false. Lakers are going to win in 5, but like, come on. But you got all these guys saying that because it's just the wave right now. You know, like Dame is hibachi. He's like a hibachi girl right now. He's hot. You know, so you got that going on. You got what other one is it?
Clippers Dallas.
You got Luka who's playing out of his mind right now, and then you got the Clippers who everyone, not me, but you got a lot of people who kind of have them in the finals, and it's like they haven't been a team all year. I think they've been together for like 12 games, so it's like, okay, well, this is what you guys have been waiting for. So like now it's time to see if the Clippers can turn it on, and you know, and they're playing a team that shoots the ball really well. Porzingis is going to be a matchup nightmare for them. Cause I'm not sure who they're going to put on Porzingis. At 7'3", he shoots over everybody. And as long as he's not in foul trouble and as long as he's confident, he has the advantage in every situation. Like even if you put Kawhi on him, sure, great defender, but he should shoot over top Kawhi. Like, I don't know who they put on Porzingis. Luka is going to struggle this series because he's going to always have length and athleticism against him. Like, he's going to always have either Paul George or Kawhi against him. And for a physical series, he's big and physical, but I think he's going to struggle in a sense, whereas like, he's always going to have a body on him. Usually at 6'6" or 6'7", he always has an advantage, like size and physicality wise.
Size, yeah. He won't be able to move around as freely.
I don't think so. And he's not going to get to the line as much because he's not, like, playoff is not always about getting to the free throw line. It's about making shots and getting stops, you know? And I don't think he's going to get to the line as much as he is, but yeah, it's gonna be like there's like, as I said, there's like 3 or 4 series where I'm like in the first round, which is it hasn't really been like that for a while, you know. 3 or 4 series where it's like, okay, damn, like
we probably don't even need to talk about Toronto, Brooklyn. There's no need.
No.
We're good with that. All right.
Toronto will win, and
yeah, I think it's safe to say we know the outcome of that one. If LeVert is the guy that Brooklyn is looking to do anything, you already lost.
Don't get me wrong. I like LeVert. He's very. We just got to be realistic about who he is and his ability and what he can. Very talented, but and the thing about him, he works hard. He's one of like there's not a lot of players in the NBA where you can look at and you can be like, okay, this guy, he works hard. Like, he wants it. He's like you know, there's some guys who play professional sports in any sport, and they just play it because of what the game can do for them. So like either fame or monetary value or whatever it is. And you can see that, you know, he really, really enjoys what he does. Like he loves the game. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But that only gets you so far, you know. You're going up against a well-oiled machine that's healthy, playing good, feeling good, and like I want to say Raptors will sweep it, but Raptors never sweep anybody, so they're gonna give a game away. So
you're thinking that curse is gonna continue into this series? We'll drop the first one.
Yeah, it'd be a 4-1 series, but yeah, they'll handle a bit of their business. I think the only sweep in the first round is going to be Bucks and Magic. That's the only
Magic,
sweep.
yeah.
All right, let's get to that then. Let's go down the brackets and see We're going to impromptu fill out our brackets live on the show. So we got Lakers, Blazers.
I got Lakers in 5. I think it will be very similar to when AI went up against Lakers. Lakers are the better team. They have the better duo. They're in the playoffs where it's physical and you like basically your physicality and size most often always wins. I just think Lakers they're just a better team, and there's no matchup for LeBron. As much as everyone wants to say Damian Lillard is hot, he's probably the best player in the league right now, just off of how he's playing. Not skill wise, I think other like Giannis, those guys are better than him. LeBron, Kawhi are better than him, but as of how he's playing right now at this moment, and based off of the last 4 games, he's the hottest, best player in the NBA right now. So everyone's riding that wave. I get it. He'll get hard and get you one game, but yeah, Portland has no matchup for LeBron, so I think Lakers will win in 5. That's what I got.
Right.
Yeah, with me, I agree with Francis. I got Lakers in 5 as well. I just think with Portland, they're going to come up a little short with guys that can really spread the floor. The Lakers are just a little too deep for Portland. I mean, outside of Carmelo, McCollum, and Damian Lillard, I mean, who's going to really be those other guys to step up on that team?
You got Nurkic.
You got Trent.
You got Gary Trent.
I mean,
like,
I just don't think in a series like this, I think some of those guys are going to disappear, to be honest. I really do. Against the Lakers, I think some of these guys are going to fall.
I agree 100%. And like, and like people that, from a coach's perspective, like Brooklyn gave the blueprint on how to, you can't stop them, but how to defend them and annoy them, right? So what Brooklyn was doing was every time Dame went in the pick and roll, they blitzed it. So they just basically sent 2 guys at him and then forced him to give the ball up. And in that game, he had 12 assists, right? Which is fine. He had 42 and 12, fine. But they had a shot at the end of the game, right? So Dame is going to do what he does. You can't stop somebody who shoots the ball so well and he gets that bullshit. I hate that foul so much where he comes off the screen and pulls up and throws it up. I hate that shit so much. But he gets like 2 of those a game, right? And then you got to respect him because he's able to get to the rim. He can finish in the rim traffic. So you have to respect him. So he's tough to guard, right? But he's going to get his. But what Brooklyn did was they sent that double. They forced him to pass it, and they forced guys like Nurkic to hit shots. They forced guys like Trent, Melo to hit shots. And don't get me wrong, those guys are going to hit. They're going to hit some shots, right? Melo. He's been in the playoffs before. He's going to hit some shots, but I'd rather hang my hat on trying to make Nurkic beat me with 20 and 20 every game because he hasn't proven that he can do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd rather hang my hat on Gary Trent and try to make big threes and like in a playoff game where it matters. I'd rather hang my hat on that because he hasn't shown that he can do that. You know what I mean? So
here's where I differ from you guys, right? I'm still choosing Lakers, but I'm not saying it's going to be 5 games. I'm saying it's going to go 7. And the reason why I'm saying it's going to go the full way is because if this was a normal playoff, I would agree with you guys. If there was home court advantage, I would agree with you guys. But in their mindset, they've been playing playoff games since they got there. Like each win means
they should have lost 2 games.
What?
In my opinion, Portland could have easily lost 2 games. They could have lost the Brooklyn game. So in that game, Karis LeVert never shot one step back, fadeaway, mid-range shot the whole game, and he decided.
That's not on them though. But what I'm saying is,
I'm not saying on them, but I'm saying those mistakes. LeBron is not going to make those mistakes in the playoffs.
That's Anthony true. Davis but mindset, it's a mindset thing for me, right? Like they could have lost those 2 possible games, right? But in their mind, they've been playing pressure basketball since they got to the bubble.
For sure. Yep.
Like Lakers have not been playing pressure basketball since they got to the playoff, since they got to the bubble, because they already had their spot clinched. They were resting players here. They were like, I don't see too many plays of Kuzma taking the game-winning shot. Like there's certain things that Lakers were trying to do. Portland had to play with pressure that whole time. So it would be different if there was home court advantage. right?
I think
Because that's different. Like if there was fans, you have to travel, you have to hear all this stuff. Every game sounds silence, right? Every game is just them on the court. So it's a little bit different than if you're playing normally and you had to travel to LA and you have to hear that sound and you have to hear the crowd, you have to hear all this stuff. That would, to me, more take somebody out than this.
I mean,
so I'm still choosing Lakers.
I get it.
7.
I get it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't see how you match up with LeBron James, and he's gonna put guys in foul trouble, and he's gonna get to the rim, and he's gonna get guys open shots. Or like, I'm not even gonna get to Anthony Davis because we like AD and those Pelicans beat Portland when they were a 3 seed in the playoffs, and AD averaged like 40 and 15. But I'm not gonna get to that, and that's when they had Aminu and they had all those guys that can defend them. But I'm not gonna get to that. But just in regards to LeBron James, I just don't see how Portland can guard him. And I think that's the X factor. AD is gonna be the X factor, but I think LeBron, he's gonna average like 30 plus on 60% shooting. And I just don't see it. Like, as I said, you know what? If Gary Trent and Melo and those guys can beat me, if Gary Trent can go out there and get you 35 points or 30 points a night and he beats you, good for them. You know, you deserve it. Good for you. If Melo can go out there and play defense on one end, because he's probably going to match up with LeBron, if you can go out there and play defense on one end and then come down the other end and score the high percentage, because Melo has never been a high volume, high percentage shooter. So if you can go out there and do that on both sides at this part of his career, and they can beat me 4 games out of, or 3 games out of 7 and take it to 7, good for you. Great.
All right, let's move to the next one. We got Rockets and Thunder.
Yeah, I think if Westbrook was there, I would have said Houston Rockets are going to win, because that small ball lineup, it's tough, especially with OKC, because now you're going to have your rim protector out. You're going to have like your Steve Adams guarding PJ Tucker, and that's going to leave Westbrook and Harden against the rim. But now that Westbrook is probably going to be out, they say, 2 games at least? Or whatever. So now he's minimum 2 games. I just think OKC now matches up better, and their advantage is going to be more prominent. You know, because now they can put the 3 guards out there, because they have a 3 guard lineup with Shea, Chris Paul, and what's that dude with the patch that said? What's his name? The six man. What's his name, man?
OKC. Schroeder.
Yeah. Oh, so they put those 3 out there, and then you can throw either Grant or Robertson out there as your 4, and then now you can afford to have Steven Adams out there now, because now, like, you can exert your will a little more. So I have OKC winning in 6.
For me, I think I think Houston. It's going to be a tough series for sure. I think with that. So I think that's going to go 7 in my eyes. So I think Houston. I'm thinking Houston is 7. I just think OKC is going to push them to that 7, and I think. With James Harden, just what he's been doing in this bubble especially, I think he can get them over the hump. And at least by then, I mean, Westbrook will be back. So I think just to get you over the hump, you need a guy like James Harden. And in that 7th game, he might give you 49, 50. So I think that'll be the decider. And a guy like James Harden, I think Houston should be able to win that series. But it's going to be a hard-fought battle for sure in that series.
Yeah.
I'm choosing Houston. I just think that this bubble is just a little bit different pressure for everybody, and with Harden being able to feel as comfortable as he is at this point right now, I just have more faith that Harden is going to pull it out. But I do think it's going to go a long series, to tell you the truth. It's not going to be a gentleman's sweep or anything like that. It's going to be a long series.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7 easily.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing that kind of worries me with Westbrook is that they don't go deep anyways with him, and now without him, you're asking guys who don't usually play a lot of minutes to play big minutes, and I just think OKC is just a deeper team right now. Like they're starting five, and then you got like Roberson. Like I think they're a deeper team. I think that will kind of get them over the edge, but for sure that's gonna be a 6-7 game series for sure. For sure.
All right, so next up we got Utah versus Denver.
Yeah, I think Utah was the start of the year. They were one of my dark horses, but them losing Bogdanovich is gonna hurt them. So I got Denver. Denver in 6.
No, I have that one a little closer. I got Denver in 5. I think Utah's going to put up a bit of a fight. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he's been playing well in this bubble, but I mean, when you got the Joker and Jamal Murray and just the rest of the squad, the way they've been playing on Denver, I think
The only reason why I didn't go 5 was just because they've been working themselves back from injury. So I don't know if they're going to be 100% and the games are back, right? So
to me they seem pretty. They seem like they're clicking. Like they've kind of got their groove a little bit.
But they haven't played Gary Harris Jr.
Yeah.
and they haven't played Barton. So that's their starting 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't played those guys. But Murray has been there. He's been working his way back, and so has they got Paul Millsap, and MJP has been playing like lights out ball.
Mm-hmm.
So
So initially I was gonna say a sweep for Denver. I just don't like how Utah looks in this bubble at all. Like
they've been underwhelming to say the least.
Yeah, and like what disappointed me the most was there's some players that really haven't really played the game during the break, right? And then there's some that have basketball courts at their house. And I don't know, Mike Conley's just been disappointing me for a person that has a basketball court at his house and can't make shots. Like
you can just take him off because he's out from the bubble. He left.
He left the bubble?
Yeah.
All right, so then I might just really go with my pick and say Denver for a sweep.
Yeah, he left the bubble because of birth of his son or whatever. But I don't think it'll be a sweep. I think Jordan Clarkson's playing really good basketball for them. Donovan Mitchell.
I just don't like how they look, to tell you the truth.
No, I mean it's fair. Like they lost basically 20 points a game when Bogdanovich got hurt. That's 20 points a game they lost. So you take 20 points a game from any other team in the NBA, that's a big loss.
Yeah. So the next one we got Mavericks versus Clippers.
Clippers in 6.
I got the Clippers in 6.
I guess this is our first agreement. I got Clippers in 6. Let's move to the East. We got the Bucks versus the Magic.
Oh, you just go next one, guys.
You don't think?
I'm gonna say it. I know. We know what we're all thinking. I'm gonna say it. That's a sweep.
That's a sweep.
That's Milwaukee. That's a sweep.
You don't think AG will get them a game? And
I definitely don't think.
You think if he gets
game?
You think if he gets
I don't think Terrence Ross is dropping 52, 51. I don't think.
And the worst thing the NBA did was they suspended Giannis, so now he's gonna come out and try and score 7. So they're gonna get swept, and I don't think any game is to be within 15 points.
It's every game. Yeah,
I think so.
Do you think that AG is going to record a track after being swept about coming back harder next season?
He needs to start making music. That's what he needs to do. Continue to focus on that basketball career. Don't worry about music. Leave that alone.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Miami Heat versus the Pacers.
I want to say 7-game series. Like, I want to say it, but I think Miami's gonna win in 6.
Yeah, agree. I have Miami in 6. I just think with it's good. The Pacers, the way they are now, they got good balance. But Miami, I think they'll.
I don't know
they'll
if
get over
Oladipo was healthy. I would say 7.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna be like. Really, I haven't watched them because like they're one of the ones that's like they're very interesting because they don't have Sabonis, and they're still playing really good. And Oladipo's like coming back from injury, so like
they're just playing really good team basketball.
Yeah, they're playing good team basketball. But Miami plays great defense.
Yeah.
Hopefully that injury to that Derek Jones or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not a serious injury because he kind of plays some big minutes for them.
Yeah.
And he's a key rotation guy, so hopefully that he's back soon. But yeah, I got Miami at 6 as well.
Yeah.
I got Miami at 5.
Damn.
I just think that with the mindset that Jimmy Butler has and the mindset that he brings to that team and the way how they've been playing and the way how they shoot and their defensive rotation, I think it'll be too much for Indiana, to tell you the truth. Like, I think they'll get a game. I just don't see TJ Warren doing what TJ Warren was doing.
No, he's not good. Like, you don't hang your hat on him. Like, yeah. I'm hanging my hat on that they're a well-coached team, and Oladipo prior to the injury was a superstar in the NBA. Not superstar is a boost. He was a
star.
He was a star. Yeah, he was a star.
But
he was a star in the NBA.
But that's goes towards my point, right? Like, he's still working his way back from injury, right? What really made Pacers a surprising team was that TJ Warren was going off, right? And I just don't see that happening right now, to tell you the truth. So that's why I only give them 5. Like,
and then you look at it, like, they have 2 All-Stars on that team, and both All-Stars have missed significant minutes this year. Right? So it's like you got one that's working his way back and the other who's not playing right now. So that's your 2 leaders who are kind of a shell of themselves, basically, you know. But,
and it's no disrespect. I just don't see it being a long series. I just see 5 to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just honestly just bad timing for them, you know.
Yeah. And a bad matchup.
Yeah, I mean, I think
the matchup is actually pretty good for them, to be honest.
It'll be an entertaining matchup. But what I mean is,
if they were
I would have given them the team that they have now, I would have given them a better chance against another team, right? Like, not the top 4 teams in the East, right? But like, let's say they made it to like 4th, and let's say the 76ers made it to 5th. I think I would have given them more games than I am against. Yeah.
Pacers were like 3rd or like 4th or whatever, and then they dropped games, but they were ranked high.
No, they were up there, but they also had more of a complete team at that point. Like, they were really just, like I'm saying now, with the team that they have currently, if they were to face like a 76ers, I might have given them more games, right? Yeah. But with Miami, I'm only giving them 5.
It's just a tough matchup.
Yeah, tough matchup,
next up, we got, speaking of the 76ers, we got the 76ers versus the Boston Celtics.
I got Boston in 5.
I actually picked Boston in 5 as well. I just think with that Philly team, I mean, they're just not gelling like people thought they would at the beginning of the season. And obviously with now the injury to Ben Simmons, he's done for the season. And Joel Embiid, he just consistently stays injured.
Yeah, so, he hurt his hand the last game.
He did. It was a hand injury. I think it's a wrist sprain maybe or something.
And his ankle.
Yeah, He's hobbling right now. So you're kind of having to put all that weight now into Tobias Harris and guys like Horford. So you're telling all those other guys on the bench, telling them to step up. And Shake Milton, you're telling him to step up. A guy this is not his wheelhouse to be one of the guys that has to step up in the playoffs. So it's going to be a really tough, I think, series for the 76ers. And unfortunately, just with all these injuries and stuff, it's just, I think Boston is just going to kind of have their way with them a little bit in that series.
I got Boston in 5 too. Ideally, I wanted 76ers to win because for the next matchup, Raptors versus Nets, I have Raptors winning. And I just wanted Raptors to beat the 76ers again in the playoff. Just to really just put an ease to everything after, like, we made up for the Vince shot last time. Now I just kind of wanted to, like, surpass it. But I see Raptors beating Nets in 6 games, to tell you the truth.
Damn. 6?
6. Oof. And the only reason, I'll tell you the reason why I say 6, though. I think that there's going to be a game where they're going to shoot themselves out of the game. 1, right? Like Raptors in the bubble, I've seen them take way more threes than when they play like at home or outside of the bubble, right? And if they're cold, I could see Brooklyn stealing that game. And I just think there's going to be like one game. Like, I just don't see them winning game 1. So, like, those are the only reason why I say 6.
Here's where I disagree with that. In the playoffs, I think Nick Nurse is going to have a much tighter rotation than he has been showing in the bubble.
Yeah.
So that shooting that we've been seeing in the bubble, I really think that's going to get nipped in the butt in this playoff series because the rotation is going to be so much tighter. I think that the offensive sets are just going to be more crisp, and you're not going to have and most of that shooting is for a lot of those young guys that he's been playing. That's you're seeing a lot of these guys shooting threes and stuff like that. It's been pretty staggered how he's been playing with the rotation.
Yeah.
So I really think we're gonna. And Nick Nurse even said he hasn't shown his whole bag. He hasn't shown everything that he wants to show in the playoffs. So a lot of the defensive schemes we're going to be playing, offensive schemes, he hasn't shown any of that. He's shown maybe 25-30% of what he's actually going to be showing in the playoffs. So I already think all the sets we're going to be running, I think that's gonna open up the shots that we're going to actually want to be taking, and not worrying about the bubble shots. I think if we can kind of get that the shooting percentage that we play in the bubble, I think we kind of get that out of our minds right now. Not worry about that. Like we're starting fresh right now. It's 0-0. We're starting fresh, and I think that the Raptors. I do think that the first game, for some reason, I don't know why we do this, but we come out nervous. We come out kind of choked up a little bit. We look stiff. It's always the first game, and regardless of if you're a bubble or whatever it is, I think we're just going to come out like that. That's just what we do, and I think we'll drop that first one. But I think the Raptors will win the next 4, and we'll just roll like that. So I think it's going to go to 5. But yeah, I just think we got way too much for Brooklyn to handle. We're just way too deep for that team.
5 games, you say, right?
Yep.
All right. Coach, what you got?
Raps in 5.
Raps in 5? All right, so last question, last topic of the day. So Dame won the restart MVP. Do you agree it should have been him, or do you think Devin Booker earned it?
I think for me, just because of the stakes, I think that Dame definitely deserved that MVP because the stakes were so high for Portland. I mean, it was just a battle. They had to really battle their way into getting into that playoff spot. And Dame Lillard literally willed his team. He had those big performances. I mean, 61 points in the bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not easy to do. And he took that squad and had all of them believing that they could make it. I think he was talking to one of his rooks and said like one of the rooks was saying like, man, like Dame's a bad boy, and Dame said, we're not done. we still got a long way to go. Like, don't just be happy because we got in. We got a long way to go. And I think a guy with that mentality, like, he deserves to be the MVP. I mean, no, I don't think a lot of people had Portland somehow making it in. And the fact that they had to make it in and they had to play another game, like a wild card game, just to get in, like, I mean, hats off. Dame did his thing, and he got those guys to buy in, and everybody stepped up.
I think I'm on the other side of this. I think coming in, I think Portland was like 9th coming in into the bubble. I think it was Memphis 8, Portland 9.
Yeah. And then Pelicans.
Spurs.
No, Spurs. Yeah, Pelicans. Spurs, Pelicans, Suns, Sacramento.
Kings, Sacramento.
Kings.
Suns were last.
Okay.
Suns were 13th coming into the bubble. And the only chance that they had coming into the bubble was they had to go 8-0 and then hope for help. And the fact that they went 8-0, to me, I think it was because of Devin Booker, obviously. But yeah, like, I think Monty Williams should have got Coach of the Year or Coach of the Bubble.
He did.
And I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he should have got it, and I think Booker should have got MVP. Even though, like, I get it, like, Dame got it. Like, basically, to me, it came down to who got their team in.
Yeah.
You know,
they were going to win the MVP. Whoever got their team was going to win.
I think we could come out to that. But if I'm just looking at it just like objectively and just thinking like who do I think did more, I think the fact that like they have to go 8-0, and they had to, you know, like basically every game was a must win. And for Portland, the only games were a must win were must win were their last 3. Their last 3 games were basically all must wins, and then give it the hat off to them. They won, you know, and Dame has been the best player over the course of the last week,
4 games?
2 weeks, 4 games. Yeah, like he's been the best player in the bubble for those games. But I think just for what he's done with winning the 8 games over the whole it's been 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks in there.
3 weeks.
So over this stretch, he's been consistent. They've been winning. They've been beating good, like obviously quality teams. Like the win against Clippers. But yeah, mine would be Dame. I'm not Dame. Sorry,
Devin.
Booker.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm like, wait, not Dame. Yeah. But yeah, like I get everything around Dame, and I don't not agree. I don't want to say I don't agree with it, because as I said, like it would have came down for me who got into the playoffs, and I think Dame got in, so he deserves it. But if I'm looking at it just completely objective, just like not even like taking that into consideration, I think just Booker did more.
And we'd probably be singing a different story if it was more than 8 games. What if they had 14 games or 15 games?
Yeah.
And Phoenix continued to keep winning? I mean, this would be a different story that we'd be talking about right now.
But like I will say, like NBA, like there are a few things that the NBA should adapt into their scheduling. I think this is something where you should adapt this into your scheduling. So from here on out, that 8th, 9th seed, if you're 8th place and 9th team is within 4 games, you play a
play-in game,
play-in series. Yeah, I think that's. I'm not sure teams would agree to that, because you're adding 2 additional games to your playoff run essentially. So I'm not sure they would like the teams would agree to it, but I think as a viewer, like, that's really good basketball. I enjoy it. And like there's something that I saw with they did an All-Star game, they did it in the CBL, adding that Elam rule, those Elam rules things, like in the last 4 minutes of the game, like you have like a target score.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Adding, like, I'm not sure where you would add it. I'm not sure how you would add it. I'm not sure how you would incorporate that into the playoffs or something. But like, I've been watching it, and that's pretty exciting. So like, yeah,
It is. I just don't see it for like, but I don't see it for a playoff series,
Yeah.
right? Like, but I do think the playing games is made it more exciting. What I ideally would have loved to see would have been Portland and Suns
100%.
play-in game, right? Because like that right there would have really told me who the restart.
With a better team, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
right.
Who deserves to get that spot? Yeah.
Yeah. I think Devin Booker played crazy the entire time that he was there. I think he knew the stakes and he stepped up to the stakes and he played lights out. Dame, when it really came time for the team to be put on his back, that's exactly what he did. Especially the game where CJ McCollum only had like 8 points, and they needed
That was game at 61.
They needed every bucket that Dame gave them. So my restart MVP is Dame, but it's literally just because he got in, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
There was nothing more to it. If they both missed, I would have said it was Booker, because I think the hype around, I'm not going to say it's hype. It was spectacular to watch those 3 games where he was averaging like 51 points, seeing them double team him from half, hearing like Joe Harris say, yo, as soon as, I don't care who you're guarding, once you see him come to the half court line, you run up, you run there. You know what I mean? Like
that was I wasn't Joe Harris. I was Temple.
Oh yeah, it was Temple, Garrett Temple. Yeah. So like hearing all that was amazing and stuff. I just think that if they both missed, I would have given it to Booker. But because one got in, that eased it over the other player for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Phoenix, when you leave it in the hands of everybody, of someone else or anybody, it's up in the air. I mean, they should have had a better season. It's a luck of the draw at that point. You're just rolling the dice.
Remember, their season started off ridiculous, right? Like they had the Aiden suspension for like 20-something games.
Yeah.
They had they were never really their full team. So like,
no excuses though.
No excuses.
They got to play through that stuff.
And that's why I respect what they did in the bubble.
Yeah.
Because they knew that they came in with the lowest odds, and they played every game like I was saying earlier for Portland when we were doing the brackets, just having that playoff mentality. Yeah. Like they played knowing that they had pressure every game.
Oh, definitely.
Booker hitting that big shot over Paul George to end the game. Like there was so many moments, and Kawhi. There's so many moments in there, like, but it literally to me just came down to who got in, and Dame.
And that's a testament to their tenacity. I mean, you're a team coming in. You're knowing that it probably wouldn't matter even if you went perfect. You probably weren't gonna get in. Yeah. Just for the simple fact of the standings and how many games back you were. So the fact that these guys went out there and just gave it their all and put everything out there, to me, that was impressive. It was impressive to watch.
Oh, for sure.
And Dame wins because he probably had the best post-game interview. Like he was playing no games.
Yeah.
So at this point, this is where we plug our social media. Yeah. I ain't come here to play no games. So right here is where we plug our social medias and anything else that we want to plug. So, Coach.
Real deal _Francis. I'm flying out of Toronto tomorrow, so I'll be in Calgary. I'll be back in Calgary. We start back doing some stuff with the guys early September. I got some good news. So I got to peep the ACAC schedule and stuff for teams. So it's looking like we will have basketball. I got to see some dates. it's looking very, very promising. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out in regards to not quarantine. Like if it's gonna be a bubble, if it's gonna be fans or any of that stuff. I don't know that information. But I got to see some dates with nationals and all that stuff. So the fact that we have dates and we have a schedule is very promising. Yeah, very promising. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, so it's just back to business as usual. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
All right. And you can find me on Instagram, Chaz Tannenbaum, CHAS_TENENBAUM. You can also find me on Twitter at Cashern, CASSHERN10. Yeah.
Dope. And you can find me at The Senator. Don't forget to check out the Not So Soft podcast. We release it every Friday with my brothers Kino the Great and Nino Rockwell, and occasionally Task whenever he decides to drop in. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So make sure you click the subscribe button underneath this video and follow us on Instagram at the.chatroompod. And if you have any takes, or if you disagree with any of our takes and you want to get your point across, make sure to DM us, or you can send it to our email address at thechatroompod@gmail.com. We will read it on here. If you don't, we're trying to get more fan interaction on the show because I feel like that's really needed. And we got some exciting stuff that we're working on. So make sure that you're stay tuned because we're only getting bigger and better each episode. So this has been the Chat Room Podcast, your favorite baller's favorite podcast, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.